Welcome back to another episode of Jock Talk. My name is Cullen Connick. I'm here with Will Clapp, Saints coach. Used to play for LSU, went to high school at Brother Martin, played with the Saints, Chargers, and Bills, so we talk about that. So the first question is, when did you start playing football?
Yeah, I say first time I started playing football, I was a little kid, so I was always like a bigger kid. So when I was coming up, there was always like the weight limit. So like some years I could make it, some years I didn't. Uh, but I would say probably around like 8 or 9 years old, I probably started playing football, and then it was like sporadic depending on the year if I could make weight limit.
Did you ever know when you could have had a chance to make college level or the NFL?
I coming up like in high school, like NFL was like never on my radar. I was just like, man, I just want to get a college scholarship. I really want to play at LSU, like growing up in New Orleans. And I'd say after my sophomore season, had a good year. Started getting like some recruiting letters, where coaches telling me like, hey, come to camp, let us see what you can do. And once that happened, uh, you know, ended up getting some college looks, and I think I committed to LSU. I think right after my junior year.
Yeah, I never knew that, so that's really cool. What was your recruiting process like? Did you have like a good time? Did you enjoy it?
It was fun, man. Like all of my recruiting stuff essentially came down. LSU was my first offer, and Alabama was my second offer. And like after that, I was like, those are really like the only two schools I thought were like the ones I could see myself going to. And then obviously being from Louisiana, growing up in New Orleans, my dad played at LSU. It was like I was always going to go to LSU, but it was cool to like see what else was out there. But I couldn't have made a better decision going to LSU.
Who was your coach for LSU when you played?
I was with uh, I was with Les for 2.5 and O for 1.5, and enjoyed both of those guys. And I look back at my college days, it's like some of the the best times.
Was Coach? I like Coach O. Did you like him?
I love playing for Coach O. We had a blast. He brought a kind of like a pro mentality to college sports at the time. Like, he came up under that like Pete Carroll coaching tree, and everything was fast, fast practices. They were physical. We were in and out, and no waste of time. And we just we had a blast doing it.
Can you take me through your draft process?
Yeah. So my draft process, I came out as a redshirt junior. I had finished up, my redshirt. I redshirted my first year. Then after that, my redshirt freshman year started at right guard. Next year at left guard, and the year after at center. And you know, kind of weighing the pros and cons of either leaving or going back. And I felt like I kind of done everything I could have in college. Came off of a strong year. I had some injury stuff in the prior years, and it was the first time I was needing an off-season surgery. So I thought I was ready to make that jump, and I was I was confident I could do it, and ended up getting drafted by the Saints. And it was after that I was just from there grinding, trying to make teams.
What was like mini camp? Did you enjoy mini camp and OTAs?
Yeah, like mini camp and OTAs now from like the coaching side has been it's been a fun process of like switching over and getting comfortable on the coaching side. My whole career I was kind of like a player coach, especially like as I got older. I was a veteran in the room. I've been around and especially playing for a couple of guys in the same staff at different stops and kind of just now going full time coaching. It's been fun and it's been a fun transition to it.
Switching over to your NFL career, what was different about all three of the teams you played with? Like, what was different about them?
And they were all great organizations. I would say, when I was with New Orleans to start, it was just such a fun team. Like there were some like just absolute legends on those teams. I mean, guys who are going to be, Hall of Famers. Obviously, Drew Brees, Cam Jordan, guys like that. And it was just so fun coming in as a young guy, trying to learn like how to be a pro and like playing under all these guys. Max Unger in the O line room. Like it was a great opportunity to go into a team that was so veteran and had guys that were just people that did it at a high level for so long in the league. Then after that, I moved on to LA, and man, that was such a fun team to be a part of because it was a young, talented team that was trying to build something on their own, and I really enjoyed it. I would say when I was in California or when I was playing for the Chargers, that's when I played the most, and I feel like that during that time, I took off on like just becoming a better player, got more confidence in myself, and then after my 2 years there, I went to Buffalo, and Buffalo is just a special place. It's uh, it's a small town vibe there, and I loved every second of it. We had a great team that year, went to the AFC Championship, and unfortunately lost. But man, I was super blessed to play at three great organizations, and I truly like, had a blast going to work every day when I was there.
How is playing with Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Drew Brees?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was super fortunate my whole career. Always got to play with like really good quarterbacks. And all those guys have similar things to them. Like they're super competitive. They show up to work every day, and like they're just like going as hard as they can to be the best at their craft. And it's just awesome being around guys like that. And then like, obviously on game day, like when you're playing with those guys, you're just like you're like in awe sometimes of the things they're able to do. So I can't believe that I got to play with those three guys and have that type of experience.
Yeah. That what was the game day process like? Like what time did y'all have to arrive to the stadium? What y'all do before y'all start going on the field and warming up?
Yeah, so it's different between like home and away games, but it's pretty like similar. You have to be in the locker room 2 hours before kick. So like if it's a home game, you drive yourself to the stadium, park and head in the locker room. So I always try to get there, anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours before kick. Give myself plenty of time. On the road, it's a little different. We're at the team hotel. There's staggered buses leaving the hotel, so I would normally just try to figure out like what time I wanted to get there, and I just always wanted to make sure I had like enough time to feel prepared and ready. As you get older in the league, you might need a little more time just to get the body ready. But I always felt like super comfortable with my routine. I was a big routine guy going into it. So whenever I was on the road, like I made sure I had all the stuff I needed, and I was gonna be ready for that game.
That's I didn't know you had to be there like at a specific time. I always thought like it was 4 hours. I didn't think it was like 2 hours.
Well, the 2 hours is like if you're not there 2 hours before, that's technically like the finable time. I think that's league mandated rule of like 2 hours before kick you need to be in there because there's so much stuff that you need to go through, leading up to the game. But yeah, like some guys, I mean, I had teammates who were there 4.5 hours early before kick. Just depends on what you need and what you have going on. Like there were games maybe where I was a little banged up and I got there super early because I needed to make sure I was good to go. And but for the most part, I say I was normally about a 3 hours before kick guy.
What was your favorite stadium you played in? And you can't say like the Saints, the Chargers, or the Bills Stadium.
Who favorite city to play in? I will say playing at Kansas City is like one of the coolest spots. Arrowhead, super fun place to play. Uh, you know, kind of like you go into the stadium. It's kind of like it feels like it's in like the middle of nowhere. It's really like a one entryway, uh, and one way in, one way out. The fans are crazy. It's super loud stadium. I got to play there on 3 or 4 times in my career. So I always enjoyed playing in Arrowhead because a lot of times when I was going there, the Chiefs were rolling. They were on those Super Bowl runs, so it was always a fun game to play in. The atmosphere was awesome, so that was probably my favorite place to go and play at.
Did you have any big mentors from each of the three teams?
Yeah, I mean, you always just have guys that I was always lucky enough to have guys to lean on when I was with the Saints. Like Larry Warford always took me under his wing, and he showed me a lot. He showed me how to be a pro. He knew how to coach you up from a player side, and he showed me like how to be a pro and how I would be able to extend my career. And then as you move on, by the time I got to LA, I was in my fifth and sixth seasons. I was kind of one of those older guys at that point. Uh, and then you start leaning on guys. I had my guys out there like Trey Pipkins, Jamar Sawyer. When I was in Buffalo, Dave Edwards and Connor McGovern. So like just guys that you can lean on. Get advice from, give advice to, and always just hit ideas off of each other to be able to play your best.
What is unique about each fan base you played with, and what did you love the most about each fan base?
Yeah, so obviously like in New Orleans, like down here, Saints are huge. I love just the passion on game day, like driving downtown for a home game and seeing all the people tailgating. It was always just a great feeling like going in and just knowing like playing in my hometown. So like I always loved that. I was playing in my home city, like representing New Orleans and trying to do my best doing that. When I went to LA, it's just an awesome fan base. We had so much fun. It's a great time. Being in California, the weather's great. Love playing in SoFi, and then Buffalo. Like, it's insane there. It's literally like a college. It's like a college tailgate scenario when you drive in for the games. I mean, people are everywhere. Like the whole city is like looking forward to every game, and we had a blast. I mean, like I said, I was fortunate that year. I was there in 2024 to be part of a really good team, and that was when you're part of that, like every game day is just like something special, and it's like a great feeling to be in that area.
That's really cool. What do you think about the Bills' new stadium they're building?
It looks awesome, and I've seen all the technology behind it. When I was there, they were building it, so I got to kind of see like the bones of it being built every day driving into work. And I think it's just another great stop for the NFL to have another great stadium. Obviously, Josh and all those guys are going to keep being successful there, and I think it's just another great venue for people to play at.
What do you like about like each city, like the food, the people? What was your favorite part about being there?
So obviously in New Orleans, like being from here, like the food, it's just different. Like all the guys that I played with that would come here from other spots, like man, this food's just it's unbelievable. Like everywhere they go, there's just so many recommendations for guys to go try. So they always had a blast just where they could eat, and so I feel like that's like the highlight of like when you sign with New Orleans, you're like, dude, like obviously like playing here and being in the buildings be great, but like the city, enjoying the food, the culture, that's always fun. When you're playing, when I was playing with the Chargers, we were living in Orange Beach. It was just a cool spot to live, man. Like every day, we'd bring our daughter out to the beach. We'd have fun. California weather, it's so much different than being like the New Orleans heat during the summer. We would be out there and it's June 1st and it's 65 degrees and you're like, man, this is awesome. And I always loved just being able to enjoy that weather out there. And then in Buffalo, I actually enjoyed like the snow and the weather and like because it's like a mindset for everybody out there. It's like everybody embraces it. We love it, and it's a great spot. I loved how everybody got up for game day. I mean, I absolutely love Buffalo.
Did you like playing in the snow? Was it like, did you think it was cold after playing a lot in it?
Yeah. So whenever you play in a cold weather game, it's like I have like different like stages of it. So if you're like me, like a lot of games, whenever I played in like cold games, I was backing up. So if you're a backup and you're standing on the sideline, I would get like so cold and like my body would be like freezing. But like the games that I was like playing out there, like I never even noticed it was cold because you're moving around, you're doing stuff. Now like, I never played in like truly like horrible weather games. Like I remember like there was a couple times like I had buddies that told me they played in like negative 10-degree weather, and I'm sure that was miserable. I think the coldest I ever played in might have been like I think it was like 20 degrees and raining, and that one like the weather the weather wasn't great, but I also like I never at one point was like, man, I'm freezing.
What I know, I know you play golf. Did a lot of your teammates play golf with you?
Yeah, that's like during OTAs, that's like the time of year where like it's mainly about like building relationships and like becoming close as a team. And like everywhere you go, like everybody wants to go hang out on the golf course once you finish workouts for the day. So that's what we always did. Like when I was in California, we'd be there for the weekend, and everybody go out. We'd play golf, get dinner. Same thing in Buffalo. Like in the springtime there, it's like the best place to be in Western New York and play golf. So like yeah, that's a big part of like building cultures on teams and like getting friendships with guys.
That's really cool. I love playing golf. What made you start wanting to coach with the Saints after you retired?
Yeah, so I would say last year one like my whole like once I got became an older player and kind of had my wits about me of like how I wanted to be as a player and could give advice to guys. I was always kind of like a player coach, being a backup, but like being an older guy in the room. Guys would always ask me questions. And then last year, I ended up having that foot injury that knocked me out my whole last season. And the coaching staff, I had played for a couple of them at different spots, and they had told me like, "Hey man, like whenever you're ready, just like let us know. We want you to be involved, like help out as much as you can." And it just turned into me, being like like an a little extra coach, just being able to help out. And I was so thankful for them to allow me to have that in a year where, you know, if I wasn't doing that, I was been bored out of my mind and, just trying to fill time. Instead, I was doing something super productive. And after the season, some things shook out where I was able to interview for the job, and Kellen was awesome, and I was able to get on staff.
That's really good. Oh, I saw it. We signed one of your good friends from the Bills, offensive line, David Edwards. Can you take me into the process of signing him?
Yeah, so like going into Dave's free agency, I was already hired on staff. So like NFL rules, I couldn't contact Dave until like free agency had started. But when like Dave and I were good friends in Buffalo, and we'd always talk about our different stops and what we appreciated about each place. So and I had always talked about New Orleans, so positively, and the coaching staff that I had there, and Brendan Nugent, who's our O line coach when I was first with New Orleans, and now he's back with Kellen on his second set in New Orleans. I'd always spoken very positively about him. I told him how much I love playing for Kellen in LA. So he kind of remembered all that stuff, and then once free agency opened, I think he was excited about having familiar faces and knowing people in the building, and I'm glad we really got him because he's a great player.
Yeah, big get for the offensive line.
No, he's awesome.
How's working with Calvin Banks and Caesar Weeze? How's working with all them?
Man, we're super lucky in New Orleans from like a offensive line coach perspective because there's so much investment into the O line. I mean, KB, Caesar, Eric, Tolly, Dave. We've got a bunch of young guys coming up. Like we have a very talented room, and it's just awesome because like these dudes are so physically talented that they pick things up so easily. They're so coachable, and it's just I enjoy so much being at practice with them. And I don't think we could have, or we couldn't ask for more from the coach's side of like, hey, like we have great players, and I really appreciate those guys coming to work every day and wanting to be great.
Then we got how's Etchen looking this year in OTAs?
He had a great OTA. I mean, like I said, this year we went out, we got some good pieces. I thought we finished strong last year after a rough start, and getting Dave. We improved all over the place, and I'm super excited about all these guys that we went and got.
Then the defensive side, we got a lot of people on the defensive side too.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about the Georgia kid.
Yeah, Christian Miller. I mean, the defense, like our defense played well last year. I played for Coach Staley, our defense coordinator, when he was the head coach in LA. So, having that prior relationship, like he's going to have those guys right. And like I said, this OTA, like we finished up yesterday. I'm so excited where this team's at, and just being ready to go into the camp strong and be able to set a strong foundation.
Yeah, I'm ready to watch how we play this year. What is different from coaching and playing? Is it like you think it's totally different?
I mean, I would say for the most part, like it hasn't been like besides like obviously like now I'm not training all the time. I'm not like having to prepare my body to play. Now I'm solely focused on like getting the guys ready, making sure that they have everything they need, helping the coaching staff out wherever I'm needed. Uh, but now it's just like I'm full time trying to make sure that meetings are prepared, anything that's needed. So it's different, but it's not because I feel like I still have like a similar process. But I'm just so happy that I'm in it and still around the game.
What time do the coaches have to arrive to the stadium by?
I guess I'll be finding that out soon. I don't think like now the 2 hour before rule, that's for everybody. Now everybody's always there like way before that. So I mean, I would assume I'll have a similar schedule, like probably 3 or 4 hours before kick we'll be in there, and but by that point the game plans are done and everything's ready to roll. So that the only thing on game day is just making sure the guys are good to go and go out there and play hard.
Do y'all have like meetings before the game? Like will y'all meet in the morning? at like the
So most of the
facility?
time, if you play a noon kick, noon or 3 o'clock kick, you will meet the night before, and then everybody will just get there in the morning, and they're all set, and we'll do a quick, 5 to 10 minute meeting. Just hit the big reminders with the guys, and then let them continue to get ready. If you play a night game, then you'll meet with the guys in the morning. Maybe do a quick little walkthrough of just any certain plays you want to hit right before we go, and other than that, like, yeah, it's normally night before.
That's really cool. I have one more question before we end it. How do you think we're gonna do this year?
And I'm excited. Like I said, we finished strong last year. This OTAs that we had in vet mini camp, I thought our guys laid a strong foundation. I'm I'm super hopeful. We got a good young talented quarterback in Tyler Shuck, and I think the sky's the limit for our guys. And like I said, it's all about how do we come into camp? How do we make the most out of everything we've been doing? And I think we could be a talented team and and do special things.
That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for coming on.
No, I appreciate you having me, man.
More episodes are gonna be dropping soon. I got one big one coming soon. So see ya.